Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Nombulo Mashi. And so yes, today we come with another video and things are falling. We come with another video, but this time it's around what I learned from putting on a production. So like 3 top tips on what to do when putting on a production. As well as I'll be talking about what I learned from these previous productions. So initially I put on a production at State Theatre and then put on another production at Joburg Theatre. So there was a lot of things that happened. So I'll be talking about what went down, and I'll also be talking about the tips on what to do when putting on a production. Yeah, let's get it straight into it. Now to compare the two experiences, working at the State Theatre and then working at the Joburg Theatre, what happened? Let me tell you what had happened. I can literally say the two had their really big highs, and they also had their challenges. Opportunity to grow moments. Yes, that is what I would call it. With State Theatre, I would say that with that experience, unfortunately I didn't shoot, I didn't really record anything with it. But you can find it on my Instagram, I can tell you that. But with that experience was that I would say it was more smoother. Yeah, it was a smooth experience because everything was quite central. Everything was found at State Theatre. So costume was found at State Theatre. Set was found at State Theatre. Rehearsals were found at State Theatre. Everything is so super central. I had actually thought that I was going to experience more challenges going to State Theatre because I thought, oh, everybody was from Joburg, and so the journey to travel to State Theatre from Joburg to Pretoria might be a challenge. So I thought that was going to be my challenge. Kandino, the one that was challenging the most was the one that was so close, which is the Joburg Theatre. Joburg Theatre was more challenging, and I underestimated the challenges that were going to come from putting on production at Joburg Theatre. Yeah, I underestimated it because I thought, oh, it's right here, it's close by, everybody's here, people at the Joburg house are here, most of the cast members are from Joburg, no challenges, there's no need for traveling costs, no need for traveling, nothing could actually stand in our way. The challenges with Joburg Theatre was that things were not as central. The only thing that we had was venue, and that's it. Set, we had to source it ourselves. Costume, we had to source that ourselves. And those are the big one. Those are the challenge. Those are the things that actually increased our costs. Too, and yeah, transporting them to the space increased our costs. Just hiring them increased costs on a bigger scale. And so yeah, those are the things that you have to consider when you put on a production. You have to consider, if you are going to go to a specific theatre, what does the theatre come with? So yeah, now I'm going to talk about the tips, the top 3 tips on what to consider when putting on a production. Consider your venue and what it actually brings to the table. So yes, I know a lot of theatre production companies or theatre makers or directors are looking for venues. The venues that you can consider are Market Theatre, Joburg Theatre, and State Theatre, along many other theatres. I don't know a lot of theatres in Durban. I know there's the Baxter Theatre. I know in Cape Town is the Afro-Fugard Theatre. I don't know if it's still open though. I don't know. I've been hearing some rumors that it might be closed. I don't know. I hope it's not. But there are theatres all over South Africa. I'm probably missing some, but those are the main ones that I know, and those are the main ones that a lot of people know. So the venue you choose really does matter. You have to consider what kind of people actually go to that theatre. What kind of people are around that theatre, yeah? So for example, Joburg Theatre, you have to consider, who's your target market in your production? If you look at Joburg Theatre and the location that it's at, the people that are surrounding the space, like the demographic there is young people, yeah? Now the other thing that comes with young people is, what is their affordability? What's their affordability in terms of tickets? Is it feasible for them to actually come to your production and watch it? Yeah, you have to look at all those things. So that's tip number one. You have to consider your venue. Different venues come with different challenges. So, like I said, with State Theatre, they came with costume and they came with set. Obviously, all those costs of transporting set or the cost of transporting costume, that will already be decreased completely. Whereas if you chose a theatre like Joburg Theatre is a receiving theatre company. And what that means is that they actually do not provide costume or set for you. Whereas a State Theatre, they actually have an entire department of costume and set. And so those are the things that you have to consider. Being a startup director or theatre maker, or let's say I'm going to coin that, startup director or startup theatre maker. You have to consider all those factors in, along with other costs as well. So your venue leads into tip number 2. Your target market. You have to be very considerate of your target market. Who is this production for? You don't want to just put on a production and it's just G there. It's going to be very sad. You'll perform for chairs. Oh, but anyways, yeah, you have to consider your venue, and your venue will lead to your target market. And like that's actually the first thing that you need to be thinking of. Like, oh wow. But yeah, target market. You need to think about your target market. Who is your target market? But that also leads into tip number 1, which is your venue. So your venue, different venues offer different people. Yes, so Joburg Theatre, like I said, it's surrounded by a varsity. There's universities such as WITS, such as UJ, and there's a high school back, NSA, National School of the Arts. So it's full and it is surrounded by young people. So if you have a production that does cater to that market, I can tell you now, yes, you're going to have a good amount of people coming and watching, provided you do your marketing really well to them, yeah? And provided that your ticket costs, the price of your ticket actually caters to them. So yes, target market, you really have to check who you're marketing to, who your production caters to. But that also somewhat intertwines with your venue as well. Tip number 3. Tip number 3. All right. So tip number 3, yes, has to be your costs. You have to think about your costs. Your costs. Yes, you have to calculate how much everything will cost. If you can make a budget from the beginning, that would be great. Do that. Create like a budget of some kind. That can definitely help in the long run as you're doing your production. But calculate all your costs. Consider all your costs, from transport to sets to costume. Really hone down on what everything will cost in detail. If it means to really think about the most expensive set that you could get and working from there, I think that could help. Not the most expensive set. Like you need to really consider where you also your starting point. Yeah. Think about your transport from A to B and actually calculating that into your budget. That can definitely help in the long run, because you want to make sure that you are thinking about your next one. So as much as, yes, you are in, let's say this week you are putting on a production, you must think about how would your production also continue to run even the next month or the next time you put on your production, so that you don't run into a loss constantly or you're just eating away at your funds. Don't do that one. Don't do it. It's not good. Don't try. But yeah, make sure that you're really considering your costs in detail, working from your transport to food to cost to rehearsal room to what else? Set, marketing. Are you going to be printing out posters? Are you going to be handing something out to your audience members? You have to think about all those things. Surprise costs. Those can include, maybe there's a damaged prop or a damaged set, or even another unexpected cost could be, let's say, the costume got ruined somehow. So you have to think about all the costs, everything from what could happen to what you're certain would happen. You have to think about all those costs. That could definitely help in trying to put on a successful production. And yes, I hope this was helpful. If you found this helpful, please comment down below. Let me know if anything, if really anything, if you have a question or I've missed anything, let me know. Comment down below because the girl just wants to help. So yes, so make sure that you are realistic about what you can and you can't afford. I had this saying from a friend of mine. She said, "Do not spend like you have a champagne budget when you have a beer budget." I like that saying. Sorry if you're a beer lover or a champagne lover, I don't know. But it makes sense to me. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, forget it. But yeah, that's tip number 3. Tip number 4, and that's my last point. Comment down below before I actually do tip number 4. Comment down below. Let me know if this is actually quite helpful. Yeah? If I've missed anything. And just so you know, it's not really in order. Just ensure that all these tips, you're doing them, that you're checking. Yeah? As you're doing a production. So tip number 4. Let's get it. So tip number 4 is marketing. Marketing. For those of you who actually have a background in marketing, yeah, use it. But this is actually something that actually is a challenge in a lot of areas. If you have a product and you don't do a good job at marketing, guess what? The product is good as it not existing. So marketing is imperative. Whether you can market on social media or market via people, guerrilla marketing, that includes just handing out flyers or posters or just going to people, actually inviting people personally or going to schools. That could also help in ensuring that your production becomes successful. Yeah. So what we did is we actually decided to go to schools because our target market was young people. We decided to go to actual schools and do a young snippet or a young skit of the production. That's just an example of marketing, making sure that people know more about your production. If it's to actually show a little bit of your production, that can go a long way because it gives them a young trailer to actually go and watch your production. Yep. But it also depends on your target market, who your target market is. So deciding who your target market is will definitely help in identifying who you want to market to. Yeah. So yeah, and that depends on your story as you are the director or the producer or the theater maker, whatever you can call it. You need to be really cognizant of your target market, but that also ties into your story. So be honest about who does your story really relate to, and whoever that relates to, that's the people that you will market to. They always say if your market is everybody, then you actually don't have customers. So you have to be very specific. Be specific about the demographic, where you find them, and yeah, I hope these are really helpful. I really do. Comment down below if you have any other questions or queries or concerns. I don't know. Let me know. But these are my four tips of what I would say are the 4 main things to consider when putting on a production. I hope this was helpful. And comment, like, and subscribe. And don't subscribe. It's fine. Don't subscribe. Just like it. It's fine. It's right, girls. Just like it. Yeah. That's all I'm gonna ask you to do is just like. Yeah, because that will actually help go out and it will actually help this video go to the next person. Yeah. Just letting you know, there's actually people who actually do genuinely ask me questions, and sometimes I don't actually get to answer some of these questions. Some people are just shy. Some people, I miss their messages and then I forget and then I don't. So it really helps those who actually can be if this video can actually be useful to them. So yeah, just like the picture, just like the video, just like it. Don't subscribe, it's fine. Still right. Just like. Thank you.